Hello YouTube and welcome to another Python tutorial. So today I'm going to show you how to use the Matplotlib Python library. So are you ready? Let's get started. So as you may know, the Matplotlib library is the default plotting library for Python programming language. It's used a lot in data science, but you can use it just simply to display or to visualize your data. Okay, so first thing first, you have to make sure that Matplotlib library is installed. If not, you can use the command pip install the Matplotlib library in order to install it. Okay, so actually I already installed it, so I can verify that using the command pip list. So here you can see here in this listing that the Matplotlib library is actually installed. Okay, so let's open a file and let me show you just a simple example. Okay, so here I will be using the Sublime text, but you can use whatever editor you want. So here I create a file called myplot.py and I will use it in order to show you some simple examples. So in order to use this Matplotlib, you have to import it. Okay, so actually there are two common ways that most programmers use in order to use it. So the first one is import matplotlib.pyplot. So here pyplot is actually a model from the Matplotlib library, and we'll be using an alias called PLT. This is the common way that most programmers use. So you can use this form if you want, or there is another form, so you can also write from matplotlib, okay, import pyplot as PLT. So you can use whatever version here you want. So I'll be sticking the second one because I use it a lot. Okay, so let's delete the first one. Okay, so now that we have imported our Matplotlib, we can use it in our script. Okay, so in order to display something here with the Matplotlib, we'll be using lists. So let's say, for example, that we have students notes and we want to display them. So I will call our student's name X. So it's a list that consists of actually names. So for example, here I will call the student's name. So for example, here Max, okay, and Sarah. Let's add some other students, for example, John, Anna, and finally we can add Matthias, for example. Okay, so here we have 5 students represented by this X list, and we will add some notes. I will call the notes list Y, and here we can simply add some notes. So for example, for Max it has 10. For Sarah, let's make it 15. For John, let's make it just 8 this time. And for Anna, let's say 16, and 12 for Matthias. Okay, so here we have some students notes and we want to display this data. Okay, so we can use here the plt dot plot function, and we'll be providing the x list and the y list as argument in our function here. Okay, so this is our first plot. In order to display it, we use the function called show. Here we go. So this is a very simple basic example. So let's see what we will get using just few lines. So I will save my file, I will return to my terminal, I will run my file here using Python 3 myplot.py. So here, as you can see, I get this beautiful notes diagram, or actually plot. So here at the x-axis we have our students, and for the y-axis we have the notes. So here, as you can see, I don't have any labels, so maybe we can add here for the axis label, for example students, and for the y-axis we had label notes. So how can we do that? Pretty simple. So let's return to our editor here. So before actually showing this plot, we can just simple add plt dot title for our plot. So for example, we can call it students notes. Notes. So it's simple as that. So this is our title. We can add also labels for our x-axis using the function here x label. So for the x we have students. Okay, and for the y-axis we have as label notes. So simple as that. So let's save that and let's run our program. Here we go. So now you can see that actually we have added a title which is student notes, and for the axis here we have students, and for the y-axis we have notes. So simple as that. Okay, so let's add another. We want, for example, let's say that here for this y here we have notes for the math, but we want to add, for example, notes for physics. How can we do that? So we can actually here add z list. Okay, and let's add notes for physics. So I will add 5, for example, here for Max, also 11 for Sarah, 18 this time for John, and 13 for Anna, and finally for Max let's just add 10. So here we have two lists, the Y list for the math and the Z for actually physics. Okay, so here we can add another plot, but this time for physics, and of course the axis will remain the same because we have the same students, and for the Y axis this time we will be using Z for physics. But let's show that and see what we get. Okay, so I will save my file and return back to my terminal. I will run this time. So here you can see that we have two plots, one for maths and one for physics, but I cannot distinguish which one is for math and which one for physics. We have colors here, which is great. We have a blue color, we know that is for math, and this orange color is for physics. But it will be great if we can add a legend here or labels for each graph. So in order to do that, simple as, so here actually when plotting we can add another argument called label. So here we'll make sure to write math or maths, because this plot represents students' notes for maths, and here for the other one we can add a label for physics. Here we go. So now we can distinguish our actually plots or graph, and we can add here before the show function called legend in order to display a legend for our graph. Okay, so let's save that and run it in order to see what we get. Here we go. Now we have actually distinguish between these two plots. Here red, actually the blue one for maths and the orange one for physics. So it's pretty easy to do it using the Matplotlib library. Okay, we can even add our customized colors. For example, let's say that I want for the math notes, I want the color red, for example, here. So I will add here argument red, and for the physics I want just the green color. Okay, let's see now the results. Here we go, and voila, you can see now we have changed the colors. We customize our colors for maths and our colors for physics. It's pretty easy. Okay, another thing that you can do actually is to customize the style for your plots. The default one that is provided here by our Matplotlib library is this actually window here. So you can see here we have a home, we have some forward next view and forward to the original, to the previous view. Okay, we have here a zoom that we can use. Actually, if you click on it, we have here some actually borders, some parameters that you can actually tweak, and we can save our graph here in the PNG format if you want. Okay, so this is the default style provided the Matplotlib, but there are a lot of styles that you can actually use, and here I will show you a couple of ones. So before that, we can here just after the line for a part in our lab, we can use what we call styles. So plt.style .use, and we can provide the style that we want. So one of the most common one used by programmers is called 538. So I will write here 538. Okay, and let's see now the result. I will save here my file and run my program. Okay, so now you can see that I have actually another style. Okay, so let me resize this one. So here actually we have a grid, and it's a beautiful style that actually used for displaying data. Okay, and also it has save functions and other things here. There is also another funny style that you can use. It's simply called ggplot. You can also use it if you want. I like it very much. So let's see the result of the ggplot here. Okay, so this is another style, much more beautiful, as you can see now. Okay, so in this video I just showed you some basic things in order to display your data using the Matplotlib library. Okay, as always, I hope it has been informative for you, and I want to thank you for viewing. Bye bye.